So hey, this is Late Night Ramblings with a Random John. I got me some whiskey and Coke, good old Maker's Mark. As I was getting ready to lay out my next video project, I guess, for you guys to see if I can gain some traction on this YouTube video stuff. I got a lot of knowledge up here that I'm trying to really get out and whatever. And I really got to thinking about my toolbox tour video, and there were some things that are missing, and I was really wondering why. Maybe I should run right out to the Snap-on truck and buy some new tools. Then I really got to thinking about it. And your first year in the business, in this industry, you spend a lot of time trying to figure out what your niche is, okay? Where you belong, where you're gonna go with this, what's your path, what makes you happy, what's gonna keep you in this industry, okay? Now, what got me thinking about that was, I haven't invested in the torque angle, torque wrenches, a few other things, and I've put that money into to diag equipment that is more on the electronic side, and I've spent countless hours researching truck electrical systems in the 2, 3, sometimes 4 different networks that they have, and it really got me thinking. A lot of people, let me grab my GoPro. A lot of people, start out with a box like that, okay? Little apprentice box. Now I have that to roll around the shop. And then they end up going to, something like this, okay? Well, how do you decide as a new tech, right? A new mechanic. We're not even going to call you a tech yet. How do you decide? Because it is your decision. How do you decide which route you're going to go? Are you going to go suspension, alignments, brakes, stuff like that? Is your junk drawer going to be filled up with alignment shims, with wedge bolts for kingpins, the old kingpins to use as pounding devices? Stuff like that. Are you going to spend the money on? Grab my ashtray. Hold on. Are you going to spend your money on buying a set of real nice reams so that you can do spring pins and bushings and kingpins and all of that? That's great. That's more power to you. I feel like I'm getting a little old to be manhandling some of the major components like that. So maybe you want to get into rebuild, okay? And I'm going to lay that out as a general term, rebuild. So in frames on the big trucks, maybe you're going to do transmission rebuilds, Eatons and Allisons, and I've done Allisons up to 4000 series Allison rebuilds. I love it. I mean, it's awesome. I am not the best at in frames, just because I haven't done it really a whole lot. When I got out of the military and I got into a shop, I gravitated towards electronics and what the truck thinks, okay? Not so much what the truck does, but what it thinks. how all those systems work together, different reference voltages and all that. And I dealt with that in the military. I was a Bradley mechanic. Very high-tech piece of equipment. Most trucks nowadays, they have a 12-volt reference signal. Let's call it a reference signal. And they have a 5-volt reference signal for some sensors. A Bradley fighting vehicle has multiple reference signals. It has 2 networks that are redundant, that if one goes down, the other one is there without a glitch. Okay. You got bus controllers and backup bus controllers and all this stuff, and it does ballistics within a split second. This stuff will do some amazing stuff. Okay, so I really gravitated towards that when I went into the truck world, and I'll get to the issue with that in a moment. But that's really where I set up my tooling. Is can I troubleshoot injectors and all that stuff, of course. And if you troubleshoot it, you have to be able to replace it. Okay, you're not going to troubleshoot something. It's got a bad number 2 injector, but I'm not a mechanic guy. I'm just a diag guy. Somebody else can fix that. That's not reality. So you want to be able to realistically, within some limits, fix what you diagnose. Now, if you condemn an engine that needs an in-frame, maybe you're not the right guy. You've gone through all the electrical side, you've gotten into some mechanical, starting to realize that you're losing compression through a drop liner, whatever. You may not be the guy that fixes it, but you should be. Okay, you should fix what you diagnose to some point at least. So I don't have torque angle. I can get by doing heads and so on and so forth with my click style. Torque wrenches, some of the other stuff that I might need, protrusion measurement tools and so on and so forth. Mostly the shop is going to have that stuff. For the non-expert in-frame guy. Okay. And of course I can always borrow that. If I have to do an in-frame, I have to do an in-frame. I would like to go that route. But there's an opportunity to borrow some tools, just like if somebody's doing some electrical diag and they need to borrow some stuff from me, then I'm more than willing to help out, including the knowledge. But really back to the point, when you're an apprentice or the first year, because we don't have apprentices and whatever in the States, if you're new starting out, you need to decide what's going to keep you in this industry. What is going to keep you having fun every day? Okay, is it sling and brake shoes? Probably not. Okay, is it wheel seals? No, it's probably not. I was working a job at a dealership, a Kenworth dealership. Loved it. Loved the people. Loved the opportunity. But the opportunity didn't materialize for me because I was working nights. So what did we get at night? Got a lot of slammer brake shoes. Wheel seals, the occasional pinion seal. Not a lot of electrical diag. We were really there to kind of clean up and get trucks in and out. I didn't really like it. Okay, it wasn't my thing. I did a good job at it. I tried, and what I didn't know, some of the other guys, kind of helped me out there. But you really got to think about when you move out of that first year box. Okay, that little box right there. Okay, what are you going to move into? And more importantly, what are you going to fill that up with? You don't want to fill it up with just random crap, okay? You do not want to fill that with what everybody else filled their box with, because no shop has a pile of experts in the same expertise, okay? You have a transmission guy, or guys, right? And I say guys, people. You got some people that are really good at in-frames. You got some people that are really good at troubleshooting, electrical troubleshooting, diag. You got some people that are really good at programming and logic circuits and so on and so forth. If you're in the international world, you know that logic programming is, and really that's any manufacturer nowadays, logic programming is the way of the future, okay, with smart switches and all of that. So I say all of this to warn you, don't go buy a bunch of stuff that your shop already provides you. If you don't want to be the suspension guy, doing wheel seals and brakes and that stuff, don't go buy a bunch of big bell sockets that the shop already has. All right. If they have if you want to go the diag route like I did, and they have factory, Cummins Insight and all that, the day before and all that, the normal OEM software, what can you do outside of that that's going to really help you out? Okay, whether that's some test lead sets, whether that's an oscilloscope, a lab scope. I really love troubleshooting with a lab scope. Are you going to want a good multimeter? Right, better than an entry-level multimeter. You may want a nice Fluke. I have a nice Fluke. I have a nice Snap-on meter, both true RMS, and you can't beat them. But does the suspension guy, does he really need that quality of a tool that he's only going to use occasionally to maybe check some voltages? Probably not. Just like I don't need some of the tools, I don't need big reamers to ream kingpin bushings or shackle bushings or whatever, because that's really not my gig. Okay, I can do it if I need to, absolutely, and I'm going to do it with some quality work. But I'm going to use what the shop has, or I'm going to reach out to that suspension guy if maybe he's overworked and I'm picking up some slack for him. And I'm going to say, hey man, let me borrow your reaming tool, or hey, could you show me how to use this? I'm 50 years old, but I'm very humble. I don't know everything. Certainly do not know everything. But I picked my niche. I don't know how you say that. Let me drink some more and I'll tell you. Oh yeah, I think it's a niche. So I picked my niche and I kind of ran with that. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And how can you best help out not just your employer, but your fellow technicians as you become a technician, as you become a suspension tech or an engine tech, transmission tech, a diag tech, whatever the case may be. How can you tool yourself to help that shop out the best? Okay, and that's really, I don't want you to waste your money on buying stuff that you're not going to need. I don't need protrusion measurement tools. I don't need a torque angle to check the backbone or the 1939 CAN bus on a truck, okay, to see why the widget isn't working or why it's not working correctly or whatever. So as you graduate from that little, your first box, the one you're the most proud of, okay, and you get that next one, you start tooling it. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? All right. What's going to keep you happy and in this profession. That's most important. All right, thanks for watching the late night ramblings of a random John. Have a good night. Have a good holiday.